Let me share with you one of the most important lessons I've learned about success, and it might surprise you. Never tell people what you're going to do. Show them what you've done. This simple principle has saved me more heartache, disappointment, and wasted energy than anything else I've learned in my journey. You see, when I was younger, I was full of enthusiasm and big dreams. Every time I had an idea, every time I decided to make a change, every time I set a new goal, I'd run around telling everyone who would listen. I'd share my plans with friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, anyone who would give me 5 minutes of their time. I thought I was being inspiring. I thought people would be excited for me. I thought sharing my dreams would somehow make them more real. But here's what I discovered, and this is crucial. Most people don't want you to succeed. Now, let me be clear about what I mean. It's not that they're sitting around hoping you fail. It's more subtle than that. They're comfortable with you staying exactly where you are. They're comfortable with you being at their level. When you announce that you're going to change, grow, and become something more, it makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to confront their own lack of action. It reminds them of their own abandoned dreams. And so, without even realizing it, they begin to discourage you. They'll do it with concern in their voices. They'll say things like, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or, "That sounds risky." Or, "What if it doesn't work out?" Or, "Why would you leave your stable job?" Or, "Who do you think you are?" They'll disguise their fear as wisdom and their doubt as care. And if you're not careful, if you're not strong, their words will plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Those seeds will grow, and before you know it, you'll find yourself abandoning your dreams before you even give them a chance. I learned this the hard way. I'd announce my intentions with excitement, and people would respond with skepticism. I'd share my goals, and they'd list all the reasons why I couldn't achieve them. I'd express my dreams, and they'd remind me of my limitations. And you know what happened? I started believing them. I started doubting myself. I started playing small because that's what people expected of me. But then something shifted. I met someone who taught me a different approach. He said, "Stop announcing your moves. Make your moves in silence. Let your success make the noise." That advice changed everything for me. I stopped talking about what I was going to do and started actually doing it. I stopped seeking approval from others and started seeking results. I stopped sharing my plans and started executing them. And here's what's fascinating. When you stop talking about your goals and start working on them quietly, something magical happens. First, you preserve your energy. Every time you talk about what you're going to do, you release some of the energy you need to actually do it. It's like opening a pressure valve. That excitement, that drive, that motivation you feel when you conceive a new idea, you dissipate it by talking about it instead of channeling it into action. Second, you protect yourself from negativity. When you keep your plans private, you shield them from the doubt and criticism of others. Your dreams are fragile in their early stages. They need to be nurtured and protected, not exposed to harsh winds of skepticism. By keeping quiet, you give your ideas time to take root and grow strong before they face external judgment. Third, you avoid accountability to the wrong people. When you announce your intentions publicly, you create a form of accountability, but not always the kind that serves you. Instead of being accountable to yourself and your vision, you become accountable to other people's expectations and timelines. They start asking, "How's that thing you were doing?" Or, "Whatever happened to that idea you had?" And if you haven't made the progress you hoped for, their questions become sources of shame rather than motivation. Fourth, and this is perhaps most important, you eliminate the false sense of accomplishment. that comes from talking about your goals. Studies have shown that when you share your intentions with others, your brain experiences a premature sense of satisfaction. It's as if by talking about doing something, you trick your brain into thinking you've already done it. The motivation to actually follow through decreases because you receive some of the social reward for achieving the goal just by announcing it. Now, I'm not saying you should never share your dreams with anyone. What I'm saying is be very selective about who you share them with. Share your goals only with people who have demonstrated that they want you to succeed. Share them with mentors who can guide you. Share them with partners who are on the same journey. Share them with people who have achieved what you're trying to achieve. But don't share them with everyone, and certainly don't share them with people who haven't accomplished anything themselves. Here's a truth that might sting a little. Unsuccessful people love to give advice. People who haven't built anything love to tell you why your idea won't work. People who are stuck love to explain why you'll get stuck too. They'll project their limitations onto you. They'll assume their fears are your reality. They'll mistake their lack of action for wisdom. Don't let them rent space in your head. Don't let their doubts become your doubts. Think about the most successful people you know or have studied. Did they announce every move they were making? Did they seek permission from everyone around them? Did they share their plans with the crowd? No. They moved in silence. They worked while others doubted. They built while others criticized. They succeeded while others were still explaining why it couldn't be done. And then, when their success was undeniable, when their results spoke louder than any announcement could, that's when people paid attention. I've seen this pattern repeat itself over and over. Someone has a dream, they tell everyone about it. People discourage them. They get frustrated and give up. Then they say, I tried, but it didn't work out. But they didn't really try. They let other people's opinions stop them before they even started. They valued other people's comfort over their own potential. Contrast that with the person who has a dream and keeps it to themselves. They quietly work on it. They face challenges but don't broadcast them. They encounter setbacks but don't advertise them. They make progress slowly but steadily. And then one day, they emerge with results. They show up with the business they built, the book they wrote, the body they transformed, the skill they mastered, the life they created. And suddenly, all those people who would have discouraged them are impressed. All those people who would have doubted them are inspired. All those people who would have said, you can't, are now saying, how did you do that? That's the power of moving in silence. That's the wisdom of showing rather than telling. That's the strategy of execution over explanation. Your work speaks so much louder than your words ever could. Your results carry more weight than your intentions. Your accomplishments mean more than your announcements. Let me give you some practical guidance on how to apply this principle. First, when you set a new goal, resist the urge to immediately share it. Sit with it. Let it become part of you. Let it drive you. Use that energy to take the first steps rather than to tell people about the steps you're going to take. Second, create a private plan. Write down your goals, your strategies, your timelines. Make them real on paper, but keep that paper for yourself. This is your roadmap, not a billboard for public consumption. Review it regularly. Adjust it as needed. But don't feel compelled to share it with people who won't understand or support it. Third, find one or two trusted advisors who have your best interests at heart and who have achieved things themselves. These are the only people you share your plans with, not your entire social circle, not your coworkers, not your extended family. Just those one or two people who have earned the right to speak into your life through their own success and their demonstrated support of you. Fourth, measure your progress privately. Don't post every workout on social media. Don't announce every small win. Keep score internally. Build momentum quietly. Celebrate your victories privately. This keeps you focused on the work rather than the perception of the work. Fifth, and this is critical, be prepared for people to question why you've changed. When you start moving differently, when you're not available for all the same activities, when you're not engaging in the same conversations, people will notice. They'll ask what's going on. Don't feel obligated to explain yourself. A simple, I'm working on some personal projects, or I'm focusing on some goals, is sufficient. You don't owe anyone a detailed explanation of your journey. Sixth, when you do achieve something, don't diminish it with false modesty, but don't brag either. Simply present the result. If someone asks how you did it, share the process. If someone wants to know your secret, tell them there is no secret, just consistent work done when no one was watching. Be willing to help others, but recognize that most people want the results without the work. They want the shortcut. They want the easy path. Don't waste your time trying to convince them that hard work is worth it. Show them through your example and let them come to their own conclusions. Here's something else I learned. When you stop talking about what you're going to do, you also stop making excuses for what you haven't done. When no one knows about your goals, you don't have to explain to anyone why you haven't achieved them yet. You don't have to defend your timeline. You don't have to justify your process. You answer only to yourself, which is exactly where the accountability should be. This approach also protects you from the jealousy and envy that can arise when you announce your success too early. If people see you trying to climb, some will try to pull you down. But if you climb quietly and only reveal yourself once you've reached the top, there's nothing they can do except admire the view or join you. By the time they see your success, it's too late for them to stop it. Now, some people will interpret this advice as being secretive or antisocial. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm not saying to isolate yourself or to stop communicating with people. I'm saying be strategic about what you share and who you share it with. I'm saying protect your dreams from people who don't have dreams. I'm saying guard your goals from people who don't have goals. I'm saying shield your ambitions from people who have abandoned their ambitions. There's a difference between being private and being secretive. Being private means you don't feel the need to broadcast every aspect of your life and your plans. Being secretive means you're hiding something shameful. Being private is a sign of maturity and wisdom. It means you understand that not everyone needs to know everything about what you're doing. It means you respect your own journey enough to protect it from unnecessary outside influence. I've also learned that silence is a powerful teacher. When you stop talking and start doing, you learn faster. You make mistakes without an audience. You adjust your approach without having to explain yourself. You experiment without fear of judgment. You fail without public humiliation. And you succeed without having to live up to everyone else's expectations of what your success should look like. Think about nature for a moment. Does the seed announce that it's going to become a tree? No. It quietly works beneath the surface, developing roots, gathering strength, preparing for the breakthrough. Only when it's ready does it emerge from the ground. And by the time it's visible, it's already strong enough to withstand the elements. Be like the seed. Do your work below the surface. Develop your roots. Gather your strength. And emerge only when you're ready to withstand whatever comes. There's also wisdom and understanding that most people are focused on their own lives, their own problems, their own journeys. They don't have time or energy to be genuinely invested in yours. So why seek their approval or share your plans with them? Why make yourself vulnerable to their opinions when they're not really paying attention anyway? Focus on the few people who truly matter, who truly care, who truly want you to succeed. Everyone else is just background noise. I want to address something important here. Some of you might be thinking, but what about accountability? Don't I need to tell people my goals to stay accountable? Here's the truth. Real accountability comes from within. It comes from making a commitment to yourself and honoring that commitment regardless of whether anyone else knows about it. In fact, the strongest form of accountability is the kind that exists between you and your conscience, you and your vision, you and your potential. External accountability can be helpful, but only if it comes from the right sources. A coach who's invested in your growth, a mentor who's walked the path before you, a partner who's building alongside you. These forms of accountability are valuable. But announcing your goals on social media or telling everyone you meet what you're planning to do, that's not accountability. That's seeking validation. That's looking for permission. It's hoping for encouragement that may or may not come. Let me tell you what happens when you master this principle. You become more focused. You waste less energy on explanations and more energy on execution. You become less affected by other people's opinions. You develop inner strength that doesn't depend on external validation. You build genuine confidence that comes from actual accomplishment rather than empty promises. You earn respect not through what you say you're going to do, but through what you've actually done. And here's the beautiful part. When you finally do reveal what you've accomplished, when you finally do share your success, it's based on evidence, not intention. It's based on results, not plans. It's based on reality, not fantasy. And people respect that. People are inspired by that. People want to know how you did that. I've seen lives transformed by this simple principle. People who were constantly talking about their dreams, but never achieving them, finally started achieving when they stopped talking. People who were seeking everyone's approval finally found success when they stopped seeking and started doing. People who were held back by other people's doubts finally broke through when they stopped listening and started working. Your life is your message. Your results are your proof. Your success is your testimony. These things speak louder than any announcement you could make. These things carry more weight than any explanation you could give. These things inspire more effectively than any words you could share. So here's my challenge to you starting today. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Start showing them what you can do. Work in silence. Build in private. Grow in secret. And let your success make all the noise you would have made with your mouth. Let your results do the talking. Let your accomplishments speak for you. Stop seeking permission. Stop looking for approval. Stop announcing your intentions. Just do the work. Put your head down and do the work. Show up every day and do the work. Stay consistent and do the work. And when you finally emerge with undeniable results, you won't need to tell anyone anything. They'll already know. They'll already see. They'll already be asking you how you did it. That's the power of silence. That's the wisdom of discretion. That's the strategy of execution over explanation. Never tell people what you're going to do. Show them what you've done. Your future self will thank you for following this advice. Your success will be the loudest announcement you ever make.